Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and it is time for a scouting report on Lamar Jackson. What are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? Comment down below. Let's go ahead and get started. So we take a look at Lamar Jackson, the quarterback out of Louisville. He's sitting at 6'3", 216 pounds, a decent size for the quarterback position. 2017 stats, 59% completion percentage, 3,660 passing yards, 27 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Oh, and by the way, he had a boatload of rushing stats as well. His projected 40 time, and I struggle with this a bit because, man, we know he is athletic. But how athletic is he? I went 4.40. He could be faster, he could be slower, but man, this is going to be a hell of a time if he runs anywhere near this at the combine. Crazy speed for the quarterback position. Look at Lamar Jackson's strengths. Elite athleticism and running ability, and people, it is elite. We are talking pure, unadulterated speed, athleticism, agility, jumping ability. He has the total package athletically, and you see him out in the open field, and at times he looks like he is far and away the best athlete on the football field in college, and that will translate to the NFL. Now, maybe he won't be the most athletic person on the field in the NFL, but he's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 players on the football field at any given time, athletically speaking, and that is a very, very enticing trait. He has solid arm strength, really good arm strength. I mean, an absolute cannon of an arm, but as I will get into in my film breakdown in a moment, that can sometimes get him in trouble. He also has pretty good short to intermediate accuracy. He is a guy that can move the chains with short to intermediate throws. Despite his great deep ball, right? Despite his great arm strength, he has no problem moving the chains with short to intermediate routes. And he also has magic, man. I mean, this guy is the magic man to me. Lamar Jackson consistently makes plays, not only with his legs, but also with his arms, and he makes tremendous plays that you don't think are possible. He can do, and having some magic in the NFL can come in handy. We look at his weaknesses though. Constant overthrows, man, and issues with accuracy, but mainly overthrows, right? If Lamar Jackson misses a wide receiver, if he misses a tight end, if he misses a running back, it's probably because he overthrew him. This is something that was consistent on tape. You look at his college stats, not 1 year throwing over 60% completion percentage in college. That is really concerning. Now, I also want to note he had a lot of drops in college, man. The Louisville wide receivers and tight ends were not good pass catchers, so I included that in my analysis. But man, he has some constant overthrows and some issues with accuracy. Now, he is not the least accurate quarterback I've ever seen. I want to be clear in saying that, but he is one of the lesser accurate quarterbacks to come out recently, so you need to look out for that moving forward. He also can be a bit hesitant when making throws from the pocket. He'll have wide receivers crossing in the middle of the field, and he'll hesitate to make that throw because he's looking for something deeper downfield. He'll miss wide receivers down below, come back to the wide receivers down below, and by then they're covered. So that's another issue that I see. Pocket patience, sometimes a problem, not a horrible problem. He's actually decent with this, but I saw enough problems on tape for me to put as a weakness. At times he's just looking to run. That does concern me a bit because, again, he can miss some open wide receivers, but for the most part this isn't a terrible weakness. And throwing with anticipation to some extent. I saw cases where he would wait until the wide receivers were absolutely open before making the throw, and this would be true on like 5-yard hitch or curl routes, right? Just make the throw a little beforehand, dog. You know they're going to be open. He would hesitate to throw a 5-yard hitch despite the cornerback being 15 yards off. So there are things like that I look at in the NFL and I say, dude, you could do a little better there and make sure that your wide receivers get a little more yards after the catch. If you can hit that 5-yard hitch earlier, you can get some more yards after the catch. You get some more yards, you get some more points ultimately. Look at a pro comparison. I compare him to Michael Vick, Cam Newton, and Deshaun Watson, and I see traits in all three. Michael Vick in terms of pure, unadulterated speed and athleticism on the open field, and the dangerous arm strength that both of those men possess. Cam Newton, I do that only in saying that I feel he's a quarterback that will ultimately need to be running often in the NFL to move the chains consistently, but that's not a bad thing, okay? Cam Newton uses his legs a lot. Every year passes 600-700 rushing yards but the Panthers win games. Okay, so you can get it done. So that's where the Cam Newton comparison came from. And Deshaun Watson, mainly in terms of his frame, they have a very similar frame, almost the exact same frame too. So I see comparisons there, and I also see problems with accuracy between both Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. But I really think he is a combination of all three of these men. So we move on to a film breakdown of Lamar Jackson. Let's look at these strengths and weaknesses on tape. Alright, so let's start by looking at this play of Lamar Jackson versus North Carolina and pointing out the mechanical flaws that I see with Lamar Jackson from time to time. This one being a very simple thing that he actually can fix, and this gives me actually some encouragement. So simple play here, simple drop back, deep out to the right, and he just misfires. Let's go back and see what went wrong. So simple drop back for Lamar Jackson. Dropping back, looking. He knows he's going to throw the deep out to the right, but his footwork is not where it should be. Let's take a slower look at that. Okay, boom. We have a situation here where Lamar Jackson is not sticking to his elementary lessons as a quarterback. What you always want to do is you want for your back foot to be perpendicular to your target on the football field. Whether it be a wide receiver or a spot on the football field, you want your back foot to be parallel. Lamar Jackson's back foot is not currently parallel to his wide receiver. So Lamar Jackson either has to intuitively recognize that his footwork isn't set up correctly when he's making this throw and try to compensate with that torso-wise and lead the ball in the right direction, or just stick with it and see what happens. In this case, he kind of just sticks with it. Ball travels out of bounds. Misfire. Now this is a problem because again he can fix this, so that's not the most discouraging thing, but dude, this is 1st and 10. You got a clean pocket, no one's forcing you into bad footwork. This needs to be a routine throw for Lamar Jackson at this point in his career, and it just isn't. Now let's look at this next play against NC State, where Lamar Jackson shows a lack of intuition in terms of how much power to put on the ball. And this is something that also concerns me, because at the end of the day, mechanically things can go well with him, but he just puts too much on it. He just misfires. Now this is not an easy throw to make, but this is a throw that he should have made. Look at this replay. For once, this camera angle actually comes in great handy for us. I mean, he sees this wide receiver is open at this point. Mechanically, the setup for this throw, it's about as best as you could expect for this type of situation. You're on the run, you're under duress, he squares it up pretty well, everything's fine here. Mechanically speaking, his arm, his elbows up, everything's good. But he just sails it really high to the point where the wide receiver has to dive for his life to try to get it, and he can't come down with it. And I see too many situations where Lamar Jackson just puts too much power on the ball instead of looking to throw the ball down the field accurately. There's also situations where Lamar Jackson gets completely frightened by defenders that are about to hit him, and he loses complete structural integrity when about to make his next throw. Look at this situation here. He's gonna get pressured up the middle, and he's gonna lose all structural integrity when making this throw. I mean, you have to sit in the pocket and make this throw. Let's watch it full time real quick, and then we'll slow it down. I mean, but he'll lose all, he just tosses it like that, like it's a hot potato. Okay, like it's a hot potato. He loses all structural integrity, all mechanics of the throw, just because there's a defender coming. Just sit there and make this throw. This isn't a hot potato. And you see what happened as soon as he released this football. As soon as he released it, his footwork, his feet drifted to the left, everything was lost, his follow through was off whack. You have to stick with your integrity on that throw. Here's another situation where he does the same thing against Purdue. Could have been another big play. Defender comes up the middle, loses all integrity, and overthrows his wide receiver. Now, this wasn't a throw that was going to be completed anyway. But again, you see, whenever the pressure comes for Lamar Jackson, he can lose all structural integrity, all mechanical integrity, and just throw the ball up and hope for the best. And this is and look how he twists. Again, look at Lamar Jackson here. Look how he twists in the follow through of this throw, and he's surprised that this throw was inaccurate. All right, everything's set up there. Now look at this twist post throw. This is something he does not do on every throw, but whenever there's a rusher that's coming to him, and this time the rusher wasn't even that close, he just throws the ball up and hopes for the best. Very dangerous thing for Lamar Jackson that he has to fix moving forward. Alright, so we move on from that film analysis and we look at Lamar Jackson's best fits. Have the New York Jets, the New York Giants, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Washington Redskins. Right now, I don't know what the Jets are running offensively. They just fired their offense coordinator, John Morton, so if they want to employ a scheme that can take advantage of Lamar Jackson's strengths, that'd make a nice fit. I look at Pat Shurmur and what he was able to do with Case Keenum this season. I think he'd be able to adapt his scheme to Lamar Jackson as well there. The Arizona Cardinals have shown interest in Darrell Bevell as offensive coordinator. So Darrell Bevell, former offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, he did a great job developing Russell Wilson, allowing him to run a bit in their offense. I feel he could do the same with Lamar Jackson. And the Washington Redskins, Jay Gruden, I'm not really sure what he's looking for in a quarterback, honestly, but the Redskins will probably be in a quarterback if they let go of Kirk Cousins. Why not start with Lamar Jackson? Why not? So look at my prospect grade for Lamar Jackson, and I give a grade of 81. So to conclude on Lamar Jackson, look, I think there's a lot to like here, man. Again, he has exceptional running ability, elite athleticism, but a team that takes him is going to have to take advantage of those things. If you have like a Mike Mularkey that takes Lamar Jackson and tries to put him into a stingy offense, you're going to do this, run I formation, he's going to struggle to me, and ultimately he's never going to be great. I think he could still be starter level, but I think he could only be like a Tyrod Taylor type. But if you have a head coach that's willing to go all in on Lamar Jackson, so we're going to use his legs, it's going to be great, we're going to use him, kind of like how the Panthers used Cam Newton, you could really have something special. Now, I don't think he's ever going to be quite as good as Cam Newton, though, so you have to look out for that, too. I think Cam Newton's just a better passer, but I think you could have some really exceptional plays, some highlight plays. But then my question there is, will Lamar Jackson stay healthy for his entire year if you do that? He's 6'3", 216. This is not a guy that is going to be durable if you continue to run him and run him and run him. So I think there's a serious problem here that has to go through the heads of NFL head coaches, because he's definitely talented. But with these constant overthrows, can we fix his mechanics right? And then can he fix his natural intuition when it comes to putting power on these footballs? That's the question that has to be asked. And I'm not sure I like the answer to that question. So I don't think I would take Lamar Jackson in the first round. In the second round, if I really needed a quarterback, I might do it. I think Lamar Jackson, though, is a quarterback where you have to be all in or not, right? I don't think you can take him, or at least I wouldn't, in the second or third round if you wouldn't take him in the first, because if you're taking him in the first, it's because you believe he's good enough, that these plays he's going to make will be good enough, and that's it. So it's your decision to make as an NFL franchise, but right now, I think I might take my bet elsewhere. So there goes my thoughts on Lamar Jackson. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. I'll be back next week for a Baker Mayfield scouting report. And until next time, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm out. See you all later.